Hello, Warriors. Good to be back and have data. God, I hate not having the internet. So, can you imagine if they attacked our grid? I'd go bananas. Anyway, hi, Mike. Steve Bartholomew, how are you? Bran, Glenn, how are you? K-Man's here. Ryan's here. James, Ingmar, RJP, Pi. Good morning. Welcome to Face. Aaron Storer, welcome to Face. Galaxy, how are you? Blake, Hugo, Albert D, how are you? Welcome to Face. RC, everybody. So if we just go back to Friday, after the NFP, I was looking for, I thought maybe next week we would hit 103 in euro, and it did it on Friday, the euro. So with it doing it on a Friday, I felt no rush to do something on Friday and thought, well, you never know what kind of news you're going to get. So anyway, I went with it. I went with it here. So far, no trip to Hollywood. Dixie, to me, looks like some kind of flag or failing rally developing here. 107 being big. Maybe we've got another shot up here. What tempers me from really being as bearish a dollar as I was is this. I don't know where people drew their neckline on TLT. We'll take a look at Blake or where they had it on Forex Analytix, but I just went with this one. A lot of action at this 5.5 level that we're trading underneath. So bonds have to hold here. The only two scenarios I could see is them breaking and then digging their heels in, putting in a higher low. But these readings down here, even though they diverge, you had 28 readings. I think there's a possibility that yields are going to head back up again. That includes the 10-year. So maybe there's one more break to 433. But to me, this confirmed high up here tells me that we could challenge it. So, well, how do you feel, or what are you doing, Ryan, by trading Warrior Brother with Euro and Cable, and Aussie seems to not give up anything? What's the trade on a turnaround Tuesday, which is a
What's the
Monday for
trade?
me?
Oh, interesting question indeed. I'm glad to see you
Yeah,
back, mate.
thanks, man.
It's times like this. You just got to, if you're not scalping off the intraday levels, you've got to have a bit of patience,
Yeah,
and you got to wait for your levels. Everyone was talking about 103.50 a couple of weeks ago, and that got knocked out and made it sort of a non-event. Um,
yeah,
and now we can't get back above there. So you got to stretch out a bit. We've got these range edges. You got obviously down to 102, that 101.70. Up
hmm,
top, you got 105, 105.30, and you can pick a few levels in between. 104.50. We know there's been a 50.60 has been a sticky point. I've got a zone down here, 102.57.77.
yeah,
Just around there. So really pick your poison. But in the middle here, it's not giving you any signal.
okay,
Wider
yeah,
context, we're still in a downtrend from the 112. That hasn't changed. But short term, we've been down, we've been up, we've been down a bit, we've been up a bit. Draw your triangles and see what you get out of it. You got your top there and you got your bottom off the low points.
yeah, okay.
And,
So
yeah,
it's indecisive here.
yeah,
I'm just going with if I thought this was a low and survived the tariff thing, that this was a correction of this. But yeah, if we start getting it back over, you have 104 closes, I think they'll start to squeeze euro
yeah.
shorts. Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the same with Aussie. You know, if you look at the Aussie, yeah, it's not going down, but it made that trend low. You know, I can't ignore that new trend low. The fact that it was
yeah,
willing to go that low, even if it was a bit of a gap event, it
yeah.
still made that low while all the cable and euro didn't. But it can't get above this 62, 80, 63 level. No matter how much it tries. If it does finally do that, then you probably see 64s pretty quickly thereafter.
Okay. Sir Isaac Newton is celebrating today. There's gravity. Now, being short silver never hurt you. All right. And I still think that before this is over, and I know it's contrarian, that I still think that this is where silver's going. I've had this channel drawn and it would be equality. But the gold silver ratio is getting into rarefied territory here. Okay. So I've been saying we could go to 92 or so. We're there. Let's see. Starting to diverge, but silver did not reward. Gold made you rich, but all things could come to an end. I know don't try this at home, but the easier short, and, and let me use the oxymoron, the safer short, which is no such thing, is in the silver. It never really hurt you. So here we go. So I'm bearish on the metals. Uh, it's strange to feel bearish a dollar and bearish metals doesn't make sense, right? If you do correlations and the bonds, I think they have to really be watched here. That you know, perhaps I think a lot of people right now are saying that tariffs are just a tactic and they might be wrong-footed by the end of the month. That it's more than a tactic. They need to raise money if they're, going to be able to get their tax plans through. So I really don't think I think we'll have mucho tariff announcements towards the end of the month, at the end of this grace period. So, um, risk. Good job on the interview with Katie yesterday, Blake. I checked it out.
Thank you.
Katie's kind of negative, and she was talking about the things that I've been talking about, like NVIDIA and all the Mag 7 and the deterioration of this stuff. Here's the picture. Showed it Friday. It couldn't break out yet. I don't think it will. And keep an eye on 5920. That's going to be the first signal that we're breaking down. And this would measure 720. So right now I'm thinking that this could be distribution. Some people are calling it consolidation, but it could be distribution. Anyway, we'll see. NVIDIA came back all the way back. I was lucky. I covered it near the lows at 117 a couple Mondays ago down here. And now it's in my zone again. So my internet came up 15 minutes before the close, and this was my number. But I figured, well, the universe is going to let me put something on, so I did. I started laying on some NVIDIA puts again.
Hey, there you go.
So we'll see. If I'm wrong, it's going. It should start closing back over 140, 144. But this was
You,
some
you
type of
know,
fib. Go
you
ahead,
know
buddy.
what, Dale? You're trading your levels, you're waiting,
Yeah,
you're being patient, you're executing your plan. That's just what traders do, and you're doing it as you had planned. So
yeah.
kudos to you.
Thanks, buddy. So that's it. I wanted to sell Apple higher. It just can't rally. I caught it. I caught this and I got out and I thought, for sure I'd probably get a rally back to 240 on some updates. Apple's sick. It can't get out of its way. Meta's still skyrocketing. Google's broken. Um, you know, rallied to 96 to 200, I think should be sold. Microsoft, you know, it's hard to get short down here. And that's about it. So let me come to K-Man and talk.
Aloha.
Aloha, Blue
Welcome back.
Hawaii, Blue Hawaii.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a chance to get short up here, buddy? Up around 54?
No. In
No?
case you lose it, we both lose our internet. We meet over there in Hawaii, okay?
All right. Yeah, I'll do a
All
little
right.
Elvis. I'll do
At,
Blue Hawaii.
yeah, at the bottom of the volcano, there's a little pub. Let's meet there.
Well, we're going to have mudslides here this week, so California weather is all very. We
All right.
go from fire to mudslides. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I know I didn't, but what I did do this morning, and you were showing the metals there, was warn people in the show and in the room that I started to feel a bit that gold may have ran a bit far enough. Also, I was pointing out that support in silver ready to give way, and it all seems to happen today. I think they both can correct for different reasons. Gold has seen a bit of a spike there on whatever they may plan with the gold holdings, revalued
Yeah.
them or shift.
Squeeze.
Yeah, squeeze, and I think the squeeze we've seen it, the bulk of it at least. I think we should be a bit cautious, and silver never managed to hold above that 32, 30, 50 zone. So
Yeah.
that is a bit of a telltale, I guess. On That's the other side of the medal. That is more like the risk, I think. The risk on that. Tariffs are not gone away yet, and with the potential weighing on economies, I reckon silver may indeed correct a bit more. I don't know down to where we can go. $28. It may look a bit far, but we know how silver trades, right? We've already done a buck to a buck over the past few hours, so it can go pretty fast if the whole market is wrong-footed. But I've been saying it now for a couple of days. If they buy gold on the reval stories, I think it's the wrong reason to buy it. There are many reasons to buy it. It's a hedge against a lot of bad things, not only inflation but also tariffs. That's my base case. Then we have seen that China is back in the frame. We've also seen that they are planning to let their investors buy more. So I guess it's going to remain underpinned at certain levels. But we need to be a bit careful. I mean, it's not going to be a one-way street, right? So I
It
guess,
already has been.
yeah,
So,
well,
so now we go the other way for a little while.
um, we could, but I'm not going to get overly worried with my global view unless we break under 26, 25.90 in gold. So I know that's far away. That's $300 away. But we have done. Let's not forget that we have done like 1,000 in a year and a half time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous move.
Mm.
And even the GDX almost made new highs. So there was a pretty good trade in the miners too, right? So that while
Mm.
gold rallied, we didn't make new highs, but at least it recovered back to new highs and is due for a correction. Very nice move in some of the miners. The silver stocks still look, kind of suspect to me. It's AG. So I think there's going to be a good time to buy him, but
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's really I'm still waiting for the global revival to be confirmed, and then I will buy everything silver related and close my eyes for 30-40% perhaps. But right now, I think we need to still be careful, and if you trade it on a short-term basis.
Well, there may not be a world revival, but there's a Chinese revival. So we talked about this a few weeks ago that no one would touch China, and that with what's happening to the dollar, that emerging markets, which China is, could begin to outperform the U.S. And they all are. DAX too, right? I think DAX is pretty, it's pretty divergent. There's cracks in the momentum. DAX has cracks, but it's outperformed. It's at new highs. So we've gone from a period where the U.S. was outperforming to where other countries, developed countries and emerging markets are both outperforming. I think this is embryonic, and it's going to, this is going to be the trade for the next several years, is outperformance of emerging markets if the dollar narrative is correct. So
And I think that's an emerging market, but
no,
no,
I didn't. I said it's a
I
developed
mean,
market.
if the rest bottoms, then yeah, I mean, there will be a rebalancing as we have seen many times in the past, right?
Yeah.
The market money constantly flows from one into another bucket, so why not?
Yeah, you could have a stagnant U.S. market, even a bear market, and there's been periods in history where even though the U.S. market is declining, that you get moonshots in emerging markets, and it's usually accompanied by a weaker dollar. So that's the key. I look at the dollar, and to me, it looks like a little bit of a flag. This has been no great rebound. Maybe it could get to 8.5,
Mm.
but this rally is tepid to me. So the real test is going to be is if yields head up, will the dollar rally big time or not? You would
Well, we
assume
will
it
have to
would.
see how we will have to see how the differentials develop as well. I mean,
Right, right.
if yields fly everywhere due to tariffs, I mean, it may not have a big impact in the dollar. Well, yeah, people will buy dollars, but it may not have that big an impact if the rest of the yield sphere rises with the US.
I was reading something, I bet Blake knows, that positioning in the dollar is even more one-sided to the bullish
Really?
camp than ever, than it has been even a month ago before the dollar started coming off. There are more
Mm.
dollar bulls. Is that correct,
Yeah,
Blake?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not.
Okay.
I haven't read anything as of lately. I read that a couple of weeks ago. So
hmm Okay, well, I think everyone's caught up. So, the being bearish a dollar was my higher conviction trade, but it's kind of shifted to bearish silver, and I still think the markets are going to take a knock.
well,
And
let's talk about just a couple other things, Dale. Listening to the Flow show overnight, a couple hours ago, excuse me. Ryan, you guys talked about you and K-Man talked about an article from about Besant and about gold. And I want to show you guys something that Dale, I know you were just showing your gold chart here, but this 161% extension is what we've been, targeting. If you read the analysis, 2950 remains the near-term target, blah, blah, blah. It's channel resistance, 161% extension of the last big leg lower back in November, December. Well, November really. And obviously the relative strength is pretty overbought. So, we basically have came within a few bucks of that and we reversed. But there's a big story that kind of got the attention of precious metal traders overnight. Ryan, you want to tell everybody what you guys were talking about on the Flow show?
Yeah, well, obviously yesterday we had this story, Trump talking about bonds and irregularities and all that sort of thing, and fraud and this and that and the other, and then everyone
Yes.
jumped to conclusions that they're going to monetize gold to offset against the debt and all that palaver. And everyone, I mentioned it on the show yesterday, people saying they're going to revalue US accounts from $42 an ounce to current prices and all that jumping around. And then F.A.C.E came out last night and said, actually, what Trump was talking about when he was referring to Musk looking at this stuff was how that they're looking at what money was being spent where and how that was irregular and not correct. Wasn't talking anything about how, not paying back bondholders or payments to bondholders. It was nothing to do with the conversation whatsoever. So he pretty much poured cold water over multiple people's theses from yesterday about how it's all tied to gold. And that's probably why we've seen gold crapping out today, because everyone thinks, well, now I don't need to be shitload long gold because the US is going to be changing their accounts to reflect that. And it's just, again, it just shows you the craziness that we get with trading Trump.
That we posted some comments in the newsroom yesterday about how just so many asset managers are really just dumbfounded by a lot of these comments, that they come from the Trump administration. It gets you thinking one way, and then you get clarity, and then you have to shift the other direction right after that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's happening to gold traders too. But K-Man, what was your opinion that you expressed on the Flow show that I think should be talked about here? How about price of gold, and what would happen if you saw some of that pegging? Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little under the weather today. Go ahead.
Yeah, shoot.
Well, I mean, what I said on the Flow show is that if people buy gold for the only reason that the US may revalue their gold, I think is the wrong reason. I know I'm against what the market has been doing, but sometimes I'm not going to say the market is wrong, because the market is rarely wrong. But I mean, people who jump in late and in panic, they are usually wrong. There is a risk, actually, if you really mark your goal to market, just to reduce with some repos and stuff your debt on paper. Is that now then they're going to be revaluated, let's say at 2,900, and now what? I mean, if they want to push it higher, how are they going to push it higher to continue to that to for that to have a positive effect on the debt? But if your gold starts to come down again, that debt is going to, they will have to revalue it lower, and then the debt is going up again. And I think it's actually counterproductive. Yes, they can mark to market, but I mean, to me, that has not a mechanical positive effect on gold. It could be that after a while, they say that, okay, we are going to need to sell some of it to materially because we need money. And that may actually have a negative effect on gold. So I'm not buying the fact that we should be buying gold because the U.S. Treasury may revalue it. I don't think that's a valid reason to buy gold.
Yeah, okay. And even if that did happen, it could have a negative price effect on gold, which
Yeah.
would be interesting. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I thought it was an important topic that you guys talked about on the Flow show. Remember, you guys can catch Ryan and K-Man on the Flow show every morning, or just catch the recording too. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Twitter, on their previous live stream. So hey, Dale, I meant to tell you this. I was chatting with Katie yesterday, and had that interview that you couldn't be at because of your power outage. But I was talking with her, and she is very much in the camp that we are looking for. She's looking for potential consolidation, or two-way price action up here. She thinks that next year is going to be, or this year is going to be, a consolidation. And I've actually, I think Joseph Wang, I heard him over the weekend say the top is in equities. I think that's a pretty bold statement as of right now. But at the same time, I look at equities, and sure, if I was long, I would be thinking, okay, where is my risk at this point? At this
Yeah,
stage
we
in the
really
game.
haven't gone anywhere in like 2-3 months. It's
No,
like
we
you,
haven't, and I mean that's a bullish consolidation at highs, at all-time highs. So I don't know what's bearish
or it
about
could
that.
be distribution. That's why.
Yeah,
It.
yeah.
I mean, there's been plenty of consolidation patterns all the way up, but we did get to an extreme, and we could have blown off with everything else. The Trump with the red sweep, everything. And we've only gotten over 6,100 that I think one or two times, never really closed over it. So, you know, maybe I've heard insiders are big sellers of stocks a few months ago. Maybe hedge funds are getting short, and it takes time to turn a battleship around. This was one of the fastest or prolific battleships ever put on the seas. So it makes sense. It would take a few months of distributing stock before it would start coming down. Don't you
And
think?
this is what Dale's talking about, guys. This is like this is an example of Wyckoff distribution. And it's a very
Nice. Yeah.
similar pattern on what you would see here, with the previous highs right here,
Oh,
a
you got a
new
failed. Yeah. It looks
failed rally
exactly
right
like it.
here. Yeah. So we could be seeing something develop like this. And that's why, again, if you're bullish, you really have to start thinking, where am I wrong? And
There you go.
that in my opinion is clearly right here at the 618 retracement. You can see it right there. We've hit it twice.
Yeah.
That was the deep seek news. This was the
Yeah. 920
yeah,
tariff
what
news.
that was the tariff news, right? And
Yeah.
so the 618 retracement, which comes in at 59.15, if you guys don't know where that's at, that's the level that I think that if you are long stocks, you need to go, okay, I don't want to be long stocks anymore. That's going to be
Or for a while.
yeah, for a while. I mean,
Maybe till April or
yeah, I
something, or
mean,
May.
we get a distribution and maybe you have a better area somewhere down here at
Yeah.
5,500 to be long equities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so something like that. I think it's worth noting. Just
49.
yeah, might have a bigger distribution developing. Now today we have just a couple of minutes before Dale's interview. We have Fed Chair Powell. He's kicking off the Humphrey Hawkins testimony today, and I can guarantee you he is going to be grilled on inflation, which puts him in between a rock and a hard place because not only is going to be grilled on inflation, he's also getting a lot of pressure from the White House and the Trump administration too that he needs to cut rates. So I think it's going to be a very interesting grilling, and I think he could. Politicians are great at saying things to try to get Fed chair to slip up a little bit. They're going to be asking some pretty tough questions today. Ryan, is there anything that you're looking for in particular today with the Powell testimony?
No, I think we should remember the format. We often get the comments from his testimony dropping on the wires an hour, half hour, 10 minutes, whatever, before he sits down. It's usually a cut and paste of the last FOMC. Yeah, he's going to get a grilling. Obviously, this is the first time since the election that he's in front of the beaks. So expect lots of questions. And our mate Five Magics in the chat room had a point as well. Maybe he does a bit of a spoiler for tomorrow's CPI like he did for the PCE data at the FOMC. So keep an eye out for comments from that if he decides he wants to drop the numbers on us again. But otherwise, yeah, it's not usually the most engaging affair to watch.
All right, K-Man, is there anything in particular you'll be watching for on the Powell testimony today?
No, as I was saying on the flow show, it's usually among the what we could qualify as relatively big events because it's 2 days and it lasts 4 hours. but it's usually, barring algo moves, not a big direction changer unless, as Brian says, he gives us a hint about the CPI. And that, I guess, apart from being a really good popcorn show, is probably the best we could expect from it.
All right. And Dale, I know you have an interview today, and guys, make sure you're around tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have the CPI. It's going to be released, right here at this time, exactly 24 hours from today. So make sure that you are here. For the rest of you that are in the Forex Analytics community, remember we're going to have the Morning Edge coming up in about 45 minutes. So I'll see you guys there. And actually, Ryan, one last question I want to ask you before you go. Any reason why Sterling's got a little bit of get up and go today? I know Sterling's kind of outperforming right now, and you see the Euro Sterling's just taking an absolute nosedive. Are there some comments that came out today from the Bank of England?
Yeah, but they shouldn't be giving it another leg right now. We had obviously Mann coming out overnight explaining why she suddenly went from hawk to dove. She pretty much brushed it off, saying that she wanted a 50 cut, but that would have been it. And then she would have been happy to sit and let rates stay higher for longer. So that took the dovish rhetoric out of the thing. Not sure why the pound's feeling a bit of love right now, particularly versus the euro. But again, it could just be reaction. Europe's decided to go toe-to-toe with Trump on these tariffs. The UK is not. So I mentioned on the Flow show, as much as I said some of these crosses can be a bit, you can stay out of the dollar Trump noise. If you're going country to country, the Europe going to have a fight with Trump over tariffs and retaliate. The UK aren't. You're going to see these divergences even in the crosses.
And that headline came out actually as we're speaking. UK Trade Minister Alexander, UK is ready to work with Trump on solutions to tariffs.
There you go. Boom.
There you go. All right, and that's coming out via the live squawk on Forex Analytics. All right, guys. Dale, I know your interviewee is here. I don't want to take up any more time. I just want to thank everybody for being here today, and wish you best of luck trading on Turnaround Tuesday. We'll see you guys in the Forex Analytics chat room.
All right. Thank you, Kay, Ryan, Blake, Dream Team.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Coach.
One and only, the only time in the history of mankind where you'll be able to put together a team like this, and we're better than the Chiefs. All right. We're going to three-peat. Anyway, let's go. Thomas Malinan, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?
Are you still celebrating, popping the champagne corks? What did you think the war in Ukraine would be over by now? He's been in for a few weeks.
No, I didn't think it was over by now. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been celebrating a lot. It's been it's been like a popcorn show to watch what Elon Musk is doing in the Doge. I love it. I adore it. It's
all
great.
right. Okay, so do you think they need to find these cuts, and also, a lot of participants are thinking that the tariffs are just a tactic, and that that delay we had with Mexico and Canada, that maybe nothing's going to happen. China hasn't bent a knee. Do you think tariffs are still going to be put in place, and people thinking that's just a strategy are going to be wrong-footed when it happens?
Well, no, it is a negotiation strategy for Trump, but others, I think you were just speaking about Europe, and it seems that they're not taking it like they should have. They're not. European leaders are not taking the tariffs like, well, we would need to negotiate.
The UK.
Yeah,
they're laying down. Yeah.
That's how you need to work with Trump.
Yeah, just give
in.
in.
And the thing is that no, negotiate. Let's negotiate. I'm not an expert on the tariffs of Europe and the US, but it seems that the mood here in Europe is that we will be the the last standing beacon of these globalist woke things, and it's crazy. It's not looking good for this continent, like I've been saying. It's just I don't know. I don't know. We're shooting ourselves in the leg again. Makes absolutely no sense.
Well, do you think that this could cause a drift in Europe away from
Of
the
course.
US and towards China?
Well, they try, but I don't know how will it work with China, and the Eurasian ally is now, it's lies in ruins basically. But it would be interesting to see if there is a peace in Ukraine, what would happen here. I think Germany would be really quick to re-establish relationships with Russia, like I hope also Finland would. But what I worry, being in the north, that it seems that the preparation are being done in the Scandinavian countries and in the Baltics to escalate things here. It's like there is
There's
there
this
seems
momentum. There's like something driving this that even when you get someone who wants to avoid it, that the momentum it's hard to stop the momentum of war once it gets going.
It's true, and we have this peak escalation hypothesis, which basically states that there are very strong forces like the NATO deep state and the military industrial complex who have decided to have a perpetual war because war is highly profitable and it also gives you control. So this is our working hypothesis now that you know, we the world, especially Europe now, is being pushed towards a war, continental war once again. And there may be a pause, yeah, but if like now Trump is now proposing that you should have a like 5% of GDP put on the defense.
Yeah.
But in Europe, whenever we have had a rearming cycle, war has come. There's not a single exception to that rule. When European countries start to prepare for a war, it will come. So it's a rather detrimental policy, and I would really hope that President Trump would change from that stance because he has to accept that the world will be multipolar. That's for sure. The unipolar thing is done, and there is no return to the American greatness in the sense that what it was in the 60s, for example, before the Vietnam War, or even after the fall of the Soviet Union. There is no such thing anymore. It's just the US holds no such leverage. So this is a yeah, this is I think this is the big blind spot
So
in the Trump.
we're a paper tiger with really a tiger at the helm, right?
Yeah,
So
you are,
uh
and building you to a tiger will only result to a conflict. That's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So
okay.
the world has changed, and if you look at, for example, like if you look at gold, for example, it's showing that something cataclysmic is coming. Basically, there are
Yeah.
there are different issues driving it. Okay, now I think there was an interesting tweet just I just read it like an hour ago that the deep state panicked when the gold almost hit 3,000 and pushed it down. It's probably how it went because it's a gold at 3,000 is telling you that something is not good, something bad is coming. And what I talk, I have like few gold bug friends who have been in the field for a long time, and they are talking about preparations. They see the buying as preparations, and there is even some whale buying over the counter gold. So there's this strong forces pushing it, and of course the tariffs are now pushing gold up and all that. But it is signaling that things are not well, even though we may have a break in inflation. Let's see. It's unclear also.
Okay. Do you ever sell your gold? I know you did last time it got back in.
I don't.
Um,
No, I don't hold any assets at the moment. But
oh
if
wow.
I would,
Yeah.
I would have kept gold. Like
Okay.
our first recommendation to buy it was in June 2018, I think,
Okay.
and we
Do you
have
think,
not said one time that you should sell it.
okay, do you think that the Trump administration will be successful at generating a weaker dollar? That's what they
I don't
want.
know. Yeah, that I don't really know how it goes because there's like the plans of President Trump concerning the deficit are not good. While what the Doge is doing, they are really finding really strange like money flows and
Yeah.
places where your tax dollars have gone. It's quite unfathomable. Actually, it's worse than I thought originally. What they're finding. So there's this massive, deep corruption in the U.S. federal government. It's even bigger than I thought. But Trump is like, I don't know. He should recognize that what the U.S. now needs is a nice, clean recession to clean the economy, to clean the excess. But I don't think there's a risk that his ego does not allow that. And
Well,
so,
I've been kind of hearing him prepare the ground for it. And the
yeah, yeah,
smart thing would be to get it out of the way early, right? He's
yeah.
saying that Americans will feel some pain from this. He is saying, you know, the market could, you know, be under pressure. Maybe he's would like to engineer one so that
Hmm.
they could, him and his club could buy assets cheap again.
Yeah, well, possible, but you don't really have to engineer it a lot because the Biden administration engineered a recovery like this crazy, batshit crazy deficits they run. They created an image of a recovery which never was.
Would you short stocks here, Thomas?
At this time, I don't
Yeah.
know. I just relating to that, I could show you something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay,
All
yeah.
right, go ahead.
Because
I'm
we just updated the let me find it. Yeah, so it's this one. So first, this is just we have been trying to understand what is happening in the
consumer loans. Okay, they're starting to fail again.
yeah, the consumer life, the rate of delinquency. We have been trying to figure out what is the direction of the U.S. economy. Okay, their
Yeah.
growth has now peaked, so delinquencies are not growing. But if you look at the charts of rate of credit card loans, they are rather high, and this is not a good signal going forward because if people are defaulting on their card loans, it means that the consumer is in trouble because that's the last line of defense, so to speak. This is not actually what I wanted to see, but we can look at it. So
Well, some of
we
them
have been
still
trying to.
they have home equity they could tap.
Yeah, you know what else they have been selling?
What?
Silver coins and gold.
Oh, they're getting rid of their holdings of silver
Yeah,
and gold.
yeah, that's what I hear from
Yeah,
my
the
sources
public.
and also on Act.
Yeah,
And
that
it's like when you sell your jewelry, then it means that you are really running low on funds. So
yeah,
that is not a good sign either. Neither is this. So if the Trump administration would just pull the fiscal stimulus, the recession would come naturally. There's a risk of a banking crisis, but if that comes, well, then it comes
yeah.
too.
I
But
noticed
they
for
don't
the
have to do
first
much.
time. I noticed for the first time that I'm getting divergences at new highs in the banks, especially
Yeah,
B of A, which has the biggest book of long duration paper. Uh,
no,
uh,
it's a good point.
so I wanted to share a question from Galaxy. He says,
Yeah.
biggest tail swan event is the Doge Musk boys screw up payments and treasury payments and or international companies get into our agency systems. Besant is praying they don't create huge loss of confidence in use and take a credit rating hit. What do you think of that?
Interesting take. Interesting take. I really hadn't thought about that, but that's of course
Well,
possible.
that takes from the left. Okay, so I know
Mhm.
Galaxy. What do
Yeah,
you think of it?
I don't honestly.
I mean, do you feel? I mean,
I
if you
don't. I
were,
don't. I don't think they. I don't really think they will deliberately cause that. And I think the balance sheets of big U.S. corporations is so solid. I don't really see that. Of course, it's possible, but I don't see that coming. No,
all right, how
and
about
that would
AI? Is AI a bubble?
be.
Is it the
I don't know.
.com 2.0?
I don't know. Well, in some ways it is for sure, but I don't. We have to wait on what comes out of it because
I'm
I
not
just
even sure if you're real today. You're a hologram, aren't you?
yeah. I'm not really here. This is just
Okay.
generating my voice.
Yeah,
I'm in a bar now.
because I've never
Yeah.
heard you say "I don't know" so many times in an interview. Huh?
Well, but you have to be humble. You have to be humble.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're being transparent. You don't know. So we're all a bunch of we don't knows in this environment, aren't we?
Yeah, well, you know something, I know something. It's good, but this is something this is something I would like to show is the liquidity. This is the global money supply from China, Eurozone, the US, Japan, and the UK.
Okay.
And this is how our forecasts look now. And these are implying that we would have like this and the next month would be good. Like in March, the forecasts are saying that there is going to be a huge increase in liquidity. Although the forecast runs from October, we don't have the data, but still, that's usually how it has gone. So March good, and April looks bad. So
Okay.
when you ask, so that's the thing.
Okay. So maybe this whole thing terminates around spring,
Yeah, it's
late
April. Yeah,
March.
possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
April. Yeah. So we then we know a lot of things. For example, what happens
So that,
in.
yeah. So do you want to be long in March and get out at the end of March and watch things
That's
come
how
down
our
again?
forecast would see it, yes. And
Okay.
you need to, I think you need to keep gold now for extended periods of time. It's not true. It's rally, that's for sure.
Yeah. What about silver, which has been a big disappointment to people? That's why they're selling it, because they bought silver
You
looking
know,
for the ratio to change.
yeah, but the thing is that silver is nowadays it's also industrial metal
Yeah, it
in very
always has
different.
been.
Yeah. So yeah, but now the people who really know the industry say that now it's more. And there might be just a global recession coming or something like that, which hits the supply or the
Huh.
demand of of silver, and that's why it hasn't gone up like many suspected. But it's
You know
it's
what?
a
Go ahead. I
no,
just,
but it's just I think that the gold is the real hedge,
you're right.
and then there is silver, and then some who wants to speculate on a Bitcoin. But Bitcoin. But you know what I thought today when I have this new service of daily thoughts, which is just something short entries I write on the GNS Economics website. You know what I pondered?
What?
Uh, the global grid failure.
Okay.
What if, for some reason, we have a complete shutdown of electricity, a global grid failure for a day or two? What happens? What asset classes remain? Do we know? I don't think we do. Like
Yeah.
if everything shuts down, what will come back?
Right.
So I don't,
Cash,
yeah. So
even your cash in your bank, you don't know what it'll be.
well, yeah. Well, with cash, of course, it's something that comes. You have
Okay,
it.
there. Yeah.
But for example, financial assets. What will happen to the crypto space if all the blockchains, if everything disappears for a while globally? What will happen?
You think that'll
Does
shake
anyone know?
confidence in Bitcoin?
No. Yeah. Well, I don't.
Because
I don't have a
so
lot of.
what? So you don't have to spend it for a couple days. If it's long term, yeah, that's a problem. like a 3-4 month
Yeah, but the
grid
point is, what
failure, but
happens if yeah, but what if electricity shuts down? Are the blockchains gonna be there
no.
after? Yeah. So where is Bitcoin then?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
That,
it. That's the big reset. So when people are thinking about these things, you always have to also look up the most unlikely scenarios, the true black swans.
so aren't they,
And they really,
wouldn't that be perfect cover? You get people used to it and you replace it with the CBDC.
of course, that's probably
So
that.
that's what you're thinking.
No, if that if such a thing comes, I'm rather certain that central bank digital currency will be introduced. But however, I think people after that people are demanding only cash. They don't trust anything digital anymore for a while. So that's the
Okay.
thing.
Well, then
But
there'll be bank runs because they don't have enough
yeah,
cash to cover people's demands. You know,
yeah. And
they,
have you not one thing? I don't know how much movies do you watch, but there's some interesting development there also, which is that they have been well, or at least I have seen quite a few of them speculating on the failure of the internet.
yeah, that one was produced by the Clintons.
Yeah, yeah, some, yeah, and so there
That's
is
when
there used,
they drove to a house and they had to share it, a mother and daughter, and he came home and yeah, they were wondering what happened. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, I didn't see that,
so
but anyway, yeah.
so that's art, life imitating art. We're gonna see.
Something like that, or
Yeah.
that someone knows what's happening, what's coming. So the point being here is that I think we are like people are now looking at okay, everything it's Trump, everything is going fine, everything is going nice, but in the right direction. But we have to ask that if he's attacking like systems and organizations that have been around for decades, if not even centuries, and they have used the whole power. Are they really going to just, you know, say, okay, take it? I don't think so. So I and we are thinking that there is a possibility of retaliation in possibly many forms. So I'm just telling you that many think that okay, now that Trump is in power, everything is good. No, it's not. This is just the start of the battle against these forces. And they will create all kinds of hindrances going forward, that's for sure. Like, for example, the thing in Ukraine.
Like another pandemic. Will they try that one
Well, that's possible.
with bird
That is
flu?
that
Huh?
is definitely possible. Yeah. Now that we know that it came from a lab, there is definitely there is for sure. It's 100% sure that there is another more deadly, more easily transmittable virus somewhere. This is a fact. Now that we know that it came from a lab from Wuhan, so Corona
Yeah.
came from there. So there is something, and it's not time to be naive. It's time to be vigilant and take preparationary measures, and that's, for example, I think what the gold is signaling and why you should hold gold and cash, and you should start to prepare for the possibility that lights will be or electricity will be gone for 2 to 3 days. So just by stuff that you
Do
can.
you have a generator?
No, no, I live in central Helsinki, but this spring is a plan for me and the woman I'm seeing, that we will make sure that if there is a grid failure, we will, and her children will be okay for a few days. So
Without
we
power?
don't. There's no place to put a generator, but you can buy small things which you can charge your phone, for example, by
Yeah.
simply yanking the thing and all this. So the thing is that you should. It's my recommendation to prepare for the extreme events in your
Does it
personal
feel
life.
close? Does it feel close to you, like by this spring?
Or summer.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't
when
know.
all the heat.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and if
Well,
you
okay.
like
What could spark?
the
What
one
could
thing is
spark it? I don't. Do you think that when Netanyahu was here meeting with
Mm.
Trump, and at that press conference, Netanyahu looked orgasmic. Okay, he got
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
he
Well,
ever that he would ever dream of, compared to the Biden
yeah,
administration and other administrations. So I know they're going to hit Iran because Trump's not going to let assassination attempts go unanswered. Just like Bush
yeah.
didn't
And
let.
mm,
Bush didn't let. That's why we went to Iraq, because Saddam had threatened to, or had tried to kill his father. All right,
yeah,
that was a
then
grudge.
then all bets are off.
There were no
Yeah, but if
WMDs, huh?
no, there were no, no, there were no,
All right, so
there were no.
so you know
If
what
if
what
Iran if Iran is attacked, then we're screwed. Then if Middle East burns, then we're screwed. The inflation will go through the roof, and everything we know basically will collapse in the economic wise. I mean,
Okay, well, they think they're be shaping a new region, and they're going to have a country club in Gaza.
I
So
don't know. I don't know.
anyway,
But
I look, Netanyahu's. They're not going to let Netanyahu has been coming to talk to our Congress for 20 years about the
mm,
danger of Iran having a nuke.
mm,
And President Trump said himself, "We'll let you have the Iran have everything but a nuke."
yeah.
So
But did you
how do
know
you
that
prove? Huh?
they had a like really strange seismic event somewhere in the was it summer or fall, and some analysts say that it was a test launch for a nuclear weapon in Iran.
Mhm.
So the situation is it's not so good as many
No.
perceive it to be. I understand people's need to like have positive things, and I think we should rejoice of what's going on, but also keep in mind that there may be something more horrible waiting us just around the corner. So be wise,
Yeah.
prepare.
John Irving says, I like this. Time to be logically paranoid.
Yeah, that's a very good, very good description
Good one,
quotation
man.
for this time. Yeah,
You coined that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You did, but interesting times we live in. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's a
I don't know.
bad joke. Anyway, so well, stay safe, my friend. Let me
You too.
know. Let me know. I'll let you know if I hear of anything. Keep in touch on Twitter, and I'll get a hold of you, because hopefully you and I will be talking in late April, early May. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
I'm
Let's
sure
go.
there'll be a lot of history between here and then.
Probably, and let's hope the electricity is on so we can talk.
Yeah. I look. Hope is the oxygen in life and the carbon
Yeah,
monoxide in trading.
that's a good quote. Yeah, yeah,
You could use it. Put it on your
yeah.
GNS.
Thank you.
All right. So
Yeah,
everyone, thank you very much, Thomas. Always great to just have a conversation about things that I really don't have that many people that want to talk with me. You know what? you know I got family members and friends that, oh,
yeah.
gloom and doom, Dale, gloom and negative Ned, negative Ned. Anyway, I'm really kind of a positive person when I'm not depressed. But anyway,
Me too.
all right, buddy. All right, great
Yeah,
talking to you. Take it
you
easy,
too.
buddy. All right, everyone. You
Yeah.
could, yeah. So everyone's thanking Thomas. Okay. Anyway, listen. You can join the team in 15 minutes. Get ready to rock in 2025. I love these markets. Okay, so I'm telling you, you have a great community to be part of. You know, live dangerously and risk $1 to go check out being in the chat room for a week. That's my advice. It's better than any trade wreck I could give you. So don't just count your pips, count your blessings, everyone. See you tomorrow for Wacky Wednesday. Okay? And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios.